One of the simplest ways to meditate is to use the process of breathing for our own rehabilitation. Meditation is, after all, a form of rehabilitation. It is going back home. Our home, our true nature is peace and love. Negative thoughts and false values pollute the atmosphere and create fear, tension, anxiety. Remembering these basics, let's meditate for a couple of minutes. While breathing in, let's invoke the value of love, universal love. While breathing out, let's have forgiveness, which means leave out any idea of teaching somebody a lesson. Leave out, drop any mild sense of revenge. Leave it to God to bring justice. On your part, forgive. Invoke love during deep in-breath. Invoke forgiveness during a long breathing out. Oh. Sarva-vedanta siddhanta gocharam tamagocharam govindam paramanandam sadgurum pranatosmyaham. In so many verses, this text used logic. This text provided to us a lot of material for us to intuitively see who we are and how we are that pure consciousness, how we are that Satchit. After convincing us intellectually, now we take up a set of 10 verses which are for what we call meditation. It's no different in a sense from the earlier coverage, but in a manner of saying, if earlier the verses made matters clear to us, now the verses are asking us to stabilize in that very vision. Earlier verses also were a form of meditation only. In fact, in pure Jnana Marga, there is no dividing line between knowing and then practicing. This knowing and then practicing, according to the Puritans of Jnana Marga, is a childish idea. Going by the rigor of the philosophy of Jnana Marga, knowing itself is complete. If you know, nothing remains. Those are but dizzy heights of philosophy. Generally, everywhere we know and there is something to do. And we are so attached to this idea of doing. That kartritva, that karma-sakti is strong in us. All right. If you have that attachment to bring again and again the concept of I now know and I have to meditate and anchor myself and stabilize myself and practice nishtha, this is a stupid model which is in our minds. As we have seen those portions in Shankara's commentaries, he says it's in the domain of karma and upasana that having understood the karma, for example, the phala will not come just by understanding the facets of karma. You have to do the karma. You have to do the karma, and time comes into the picture. In due course of time, many a time, even if you have completed certain karma, Vaidika karma or Laukika karma, in the world also there are many actions to be performed. Even you have done everything that you had to do, the phala will come at a later time. Therefore, that kalantara, Shankara has clarified at many places, especially at that mantra in Mundakopanishad. Yat tadadreshyamagrahya magotramavarnam. In some publications just before that, or in some publications just after that, he makes a mind-blowing statement. In karma, number one, phala comes later. You do karma, let's say on August 9, who knows, the phala may come the following Sunday. And secondly, this time is an essential element in the process. In jnana, to be very rigorously precise, when you have gained jnana, actually time dissolves. Time is part of the illusion. The meditator himself is in illusion. You, the meditator, dissolve. There is no meditator to go up the stage and receive the phala. The Huama inquiry is where the I that was inquiring vanishes. However, using a popular terminology, everywhere there is a popular version and a rigorous, precise version. Last week when I met this professor in the National Institute of Advanced Studies in Bengaluru, briefly we talked about speakers like Deepak Chopra or so many others who have written about science and philosophy, and many of them are not so good in science. So this man with whom I had a discussion is a pure physicist. From mid-1970s or so, he has dedicated his life to pure physics and mathematics, graduating and doing his PhD in the very well-known Indian Statistical Institute in Kolkata. Now I guess it has some branches too, like IITs also have proliferated. In those days I had also applied in 1980 to get some kind of postgraduate course in ISI, Indian Statistical Institute. So this Professor Shishir Roy is a product of that and has then dedicatedly worked in the field of physics and maths. The world adores popular speakers like Deepak Chopra, and there are so many, because that literature is so attractive, very poetic, very imaginative, lot of illustrations, lot of metaphors. The world likes metaphors. But Shishir Roy said, there are so many of them who talk about science and spirituality, but they dilute sciences. I smiled, yes, that we have in Vedanta also. Moment you go for these models, here I gather knowledge and then I meditate on it, and then at a third period of time, boom, you get enlightenment. Then we don't stop there. After that I will come out with hands raised and bless the world. We romanticize it. We go for glamorous versions. So, Professor Shishir Roy, in the context of physics and spirituality, here in spirituality itself, the distinction, is there a division between knowing and abiding? So we would say even with great enlightened beings like Ramana Maharshi talked about practice, I at least am sure he used a less precise language, but unlike the popular speakers of the world, he was not a Shastri. So he used a less precise language, but his understanding was not less precise. Sometimes you have language limitation, you have understanding. Like yesterday in Bangalore, somebody said, press the light. What he meant was press the switch. His language was not correct. Press the switch. to turn the light off. That's what he meant. But in his understanding there was no confusion. What he had in mind was to press the switch only. Especially since he was a Kannadiga from a village, his English was weak anyhow. He said, press the second light, he said. So, some others may have terrific language, but they don't have real understanding. They play with language, they use flowery expressions, then their books sell in large numbers. So you want more language or you want the liberating understanding. So this is a very popular portion. Let's get into it. 2 verses, 254 and 255. And there are nice raga, tune. So you not only sing, when you sing this, you will swing also. So singing meditation, swinging meditation, I don't know whether it is a liberating meditation for 99 out of 100. But who cares for liberation? People want to sing and swing and you get what you truly desire, right? So let's go for this. Jati niti kula gotra duragam.
Jati niti kula gotra duragam.
Nama rupa guna dosha varjitam.
Nama rupa guna dosha varjitam.
Vesha kala vishayati vartiyad.
Veshakala vishayati vartiyad.
Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani.
Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani.
Yat param sakala vagagocharam.
Yat param sakala vagagocharam.
Gocharam vimala bodha chakshushaha.
Gocharam vimala bodha chakshushaha.
Shuddha chidghanamanadi vastu yat.
Shuddha chikkhanamanadi vastu yad.
Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani.
Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani.
All the 10 or 11 verses end with this line, Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Bhavaya is lot, imperative mode. Please meditate. Bhavaya, please visualize. Please look at yourself in this way. Tat tvam asi iti bhavaya. You please know yourself to be that tat. But what is that tat? Tat of Sanskrit, T-A-T, and that of English, T-H-A-T, are one and the same. Know yourself to be that. And that is expressed in very poetic way. For heaven's sake, if you are a true Vedantin, let go of all ideas of your jati, niti, kula, gotra. Say goodbye to them. Do not say on one hand, I am a Vedanti, and on the other, sometimes in the same breath, please know I am a pure Brahmin of a special category. शिव शिव, एक और बोल रहे हो मैं ब्रह्म हूँ, तो is there a Brahmin Brahman and a Kshatriya Brahmin and a Vaishya Brahmin and a feminine Brahmin, a Brahma? नहीं, ऐसा नहीं, but किंतु परंतु वगैरह छोड़ दो. jati, niti. Niti means particular cultural ways. All of these are thoughts. J. Krishnamurti would say, thought is the culprit. Thought is the spoiler. Thought, condition. When he uses the word thought, he means condition. What did you say?
He said, all thoughts are corrupt.
All thoughts are corrupt. Maharshi Ramana would say, all aham vrittis are to be banished. Inquire who am I till the last description of I am this, I am that. Last description. I described is I thought. I which is without any description. No jati, no niti, no kula, no gotra, no rupa, no height, no weight, no educational qualification. Even to think I am sick, I am not fit these days. I wish I had a little better health so I could get enlightened and then I don't mind dying. What? How confused you are. If you are enlightened, then there is no death. But we have popular models. Somebody, let us say, among us is 43. He say, I want to get enlightened before I turn 70. Then just for 5 years I will hang around and bless the world. All crazy ideas. All my enemies should know finally who I am. What all this? For enlightenment, first of all, there is nothing like age and time, and in enlightenment there are no others, no enemies, no friends. No enemy has to finally realize how great we are. No friends have to come and compliment us, because this sense of I with some boundary, and that boundary is created by thought. Krishnamurti would heavily hammer on thought because thought divides. Of course, a technical expression. A newcomer would not understand how can we live without thought. A newcomer would say, I thought, without thought we could not live. And you are constantly condemning thought. So that is the technicality there. Those of us who get familiar with Ramana's language, Krishnamurti's language, Nisargadatta's language.
Is thought a product of the chemical process?
They are related. They are two sides of the same coin. It's not exactly
Of the
product.
Body.
They happen
mind.
together. When you have a negative thought, certain chemicals are produced. When there are chemicals produced, there is negative thought. Which came first? What is that? Chicken or egg? Kya pehle aaya? These are simultaneous. It's like, is it karma that decides what happens in our life, or the position of the planets? An astrologer would say they are no different, synchronous. Shani comes somewhere in the planetary position, in your horoscope, whatever is there. They have a science there. They have. And your karma fructifies, karma matures, like bank FD matures. So they are simultaneous. This mystery of the universe is such. Multiple processes happen in great synchronization. If Gajanan Netravali has come after several months here, according to Jyotishis, on one hand, the planetary positions wanted him to show up today. And Karma Siddhantis would say his Prarabdha brought him today here. So does Prarabdha come first and planetary positions accordingly take that particular configuration? Or do planets come in some configuration and then the Prarabdha Maybe there also there is an Advaita. They are not two, they are one only. The two sides of the same coin are not two. In a sense, they are two. Heads and tails, in a sense. But from another angle of view, you can never have heads over there and tails over here. They are one. Like that, nowadays there is a lot of discussion, right? Chemicals. A boy gets attracted to a girl, or a girl gets attracted to a boy. Some medical or some person of biological sciences says, oh, it is certain glands and certain is attaining puberty, and poor boy, it's the chemicals that are produced in his body, and then he gets attracted to the girl. Somebody else would say, Sala, his old habits, karma, in last life he married and divorced and married and divorced and married and divorced. He was after so many women and never satisfied. अभी देखो 16 साल में इतना लड़कियों के पीछे जाता है. कर्म है इसका पूरा. पूर्व कर्म इतना बुरा है. 16 साल उम्र में ही लड़कियों के पीछे न पढ़ता नहीं है, न होमवर्क करता है. क्लास में बैठकर लड़कियों के प्रति को देखता है. They may connect it to purva karma. So is it our karma that makes us do whatever we do, or is it some chemicals of so many glands? We say ये कमाल है, ये सब साथ होते हैं. कर्म भी है और chemical secretion भी है. और if you are very clever, मेरा कोई कसूर नहीं है, मैं बेकसूर हूँ. फिर किसका कसूर है? लड़कियों का. स्कूल में लड़कियों का नहीं रखना चाहिए. There was somebody who said, in my college days, one boy, one friend of mine, we used to go to a Ram temple once a week. And he used to say, this Ram temple is so beautiful, it's nice to go one evening to the town and have darshan of Ram. But if I were to tell the management, लड़कियों को यहाँ आने नहीं देना, वो distraction कर देते. Why blame management? So this boy was neither blaming his chemicals nor his karma. He was blaming the management, that they should not allow girls, pretty young women to come to the temple. Ram must be smiling. बेवकूफ क्यों मैनेजमेंट को दोष देते हो? So get out of this thought created. Let's come back to thought. That's a more appropriate approach. Therefore, Krishnamurti and others would not like this chemical and karma, etc. They would say directly, you see in yourself thought arising. Hold it. Maharshi Ramana also said, hold it. I thought arises, describing you in a certain limited form. You want to Ramanashram, to the old hall where Maharshi Ramana spent so many years sitting on the couch, they call it, and you are meditating there, and a strange thought arises. There are about 25 people in this hall. I am a Vaishya. Are they also Vaishyas? How many might be Brahmins here? रमणाश्रम के उस पवित्र स्थल में बैठकर बंदे और ये बंदा अपने जाति, अपनी नीति, अपनी कुल, अपने गोत्र, इसके बारे में सोच रहा है. महर्षि would say, ask, who is a Vaishya? Who is a Kshatriya? I. Are you? Are you really in the depth of your being? Don't take things which have temporarily come. That too, it has come to the body. The body was born in a Vaishya family. तुम तो जन्म जन्म से किसी जन्म में क्षत्रिय थे, किसी जन्म में ब्राह्मण थे, किसी जन्म में प्राणी थे, पशु थे, पक्षी थे. ये यहाँ बैठकर you are connecting yourself to this narrow window of time. So duragam, duram gacchati iti duragam. Because Brahma is neuter, we would say duragam. Otherwise gaha we would say. The truth is far from this categorization, classification. Of course, needless to say, in our functionality we need categorization. That is Maharshi Ramana and Krishnamurti etc. very rarely talk about. Once in a while they clarify. व्यवहार में आपको जरूर ये कौन है, किस क्या बैकग्राउंड है इनका. Your doctors also will first ask, अभी तक कुछ दवा ले रहे हैं आप? Have you been taking? Are you on some medication? Doctors also ask. Insurance people also ask. Are you on some medication? Any what you call it case history? Any medical history? Surgery हुआ है आपको? So these days you and I have to sometimes fill up some forms. क्या क्या पूछते हैं? A day may come, they will ask, do you remember any surgery you went through in your past life? वो भी लिखो. इस जन्म में मुझे कोई सर्जरी नहीं हुआ, लेकिन पिछले जन्म में एक हर्निया ऑपरेशन था. So sometimes this westernized world has made everything too systematic with its merit. Merit भी है, but it is so taxing. नाम रूप गुण दोष वर्जितम. No name, no form. All of them are valid on the transactional व्यवहार प्रपंच. उसको हम मानते हैं. But where it belongs, let it be there only. Don't stretch it. It's the whole problem is of stretching. My favorite example is you are playing tennis with somebody, and while playing tennis, you are doing very well. Let's say you are playing better than your person opposite you, and constantly, he is son of a king actually. I am an ordinary man, but I am playing better. Again, you are doing well. मैं आम आदमी का बेटा हूँ और ये राजकुमार है, लेकिन देखिए उसका राजकुमार होने से क्या फायदा. आम आदमी का बेटा होकर भी मैं कितना अच्छा खेल रहा हूँ. भैया आपका बाप कौन है और उसका बाप कौन है, उसका कोई संबंध टेनिस से नहीं है. टेनिस खेलते समय टेनिस खेलो. वो राजकुमार है और मैं गरीब का बच्चा हूँ. डोंट ब्रिंग इररिलेवेंट थिंग्स. उसका रेलेवेंस और कहीं है अवश्य. So let go. Desha kala vishayati vartya. Powerful lines. Space, time, etc. have no bearing on your truth. I am that which is unrelated to these. Yat param, that truth which is far above. Param. Sakala vak agocharam. Words cannot grasp this truth at all. It is graspable. Very next word is gocharam. After agocharam, the next word is gocharam. It is graspable, it's to be perceived not by speech or not by thought, but vimala bodha chakshu. Chakshu here is figurative word, not these eyes. The insight, there is a certain insight which is nothing to do with indriya or manaha, is an indescribable. You and I are naturally endowed with the power of insight. हमारे अंदर वो फैकल्टी है to see what is normally not seen. दिव्य दृष्टि हमारे अंदर है, उसको इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए, इसको इन्वोक करना चाहिए. If we have a noisy mind, how will it ever happen? Therefore, initially, चित्त शुद्धि के नाम से मन को शांत करो, Chinmayananji used to say, let there be reduction is the quantity of thoughts and increase in the quality of thoughts. But old vasanas, 999 out of 1000 followers of Swami Chinmayananji also, because of vasanas, you can't blame them. They quote it, they know it, that there should be less thoughts. But they have more and more thoughts, more and more thoughts. And extrovert thoughts. That happens with these Christianity and etc. They love Christ very good. They love Bible very good. And the extrovertedness gives precedence to conversion. We want to get more and more people to our church. Jesus Christ never said convert people. Or if he said, this is the path and you must join. He said to you. But now you are going deeper to backseat. And you think that if I bring more and more people to Christianity, my seat in the heaven is guaranteed. In the process, you lure them, a lot of wrong things also happen. That is problem with so-called organized religion. Therefore, Krishnamurti was so against organized religion. Moment you organize, your priorities change. You want more membership, you want more funds, you want bigger ashrams, you want so many publications, you want branches in different countries. All of that gets priority. And somebody Guru asked the student, do you meditate regularly? The student said, Guruji, कर रहा था एक समय, फिर क्या हुआ? आजकल ध्यान नहीं करते हो हर सुबह? नहीं गुरुजी, नहीं करता हूँ इसलिए क्योंकि आई एम मेकिंग मोर एंड मोर पीपल फॉलो यू. बहुत मेहरबानी. To make more people follow the Guru, this fellow has stopped following Guru himself. गुरु का उपदेश ये नहीं फॉलो करता है. क्यों? ज्यादा लोगों को मेरे गुरु के अनुयायी बनाना चाहता हूँ. So stupid. You don't have to bring one more person to your Guru. Your Guru doesn't need, he is not asking for numbers. The Guru gave you some upadesha for you to follow. So that nobody listens. Shuddha Chidghanam Anadi. It's not Manadi. Shuddha Chidghanam Anadi Vastu. And think of that. Though we use the word think, it is actually beyond thought. It's neither thought nor feeling. At the most, thought and feeling are stepping stones. Stay in that insight. Know it, and the matter is over. Shadbhirurmibhira yogi yogi hrit.
Shadbhirurmibhira yogi yogi hrit.
Bhavitam na karanair vibhavitam.
Bhavitam na karanair vibhavitam.
Budhya vedyamasti yat.
Budhya vedyamasti yat.
Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani.
Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani.
Bhranti kalpita jagat kalashrayam.
Bhranti kalpita jagat kalashrayam.
Swashrayancha sadasad vilakshanam.
Swashrayancha sadasad vilakshanam.
Nishkalam nirupamana vadhiyat.
Nishkalam nirupamana vadhiyat.
Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani.
Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani.
meditate on this in your mind. Atmani here means in yourself, in your mind. Shadbihi urmibihi. Urmi literally means a wave. And the waves in our life, worldly life, egoistic life, are, as the Tippani says, decay and death, hunger and thirst, grief and delusion. In other words, various disturbances. Every 4 or 6 hours we get hungry and we feel thirsty. Whether we want it or not, in life, so many occasions of sorrow and delusion, moha, from shoka moha, and the technical words for hunger and thirst typically are Krishna and Kshuda, Kshud Pipasa. This is from Yoga Shastra and others. Kshud Pipase, Kshudcha Pipasa. And decay and death perhaps are Apakshaya and Marana. There are many others too. Financial loss, ruined relationships. Sometimes you don't even know why some people stopped coming to us or meeting us, or in parties they don't talk also. Sometimes you know, but you cannot do anything about it. Relationships break, new relationships come up. Urmi. So Shadbihi, Urmibihi, Ayogi means unconnected. Yoga is joining, Ayogi, never joining. Yogi Hradbhavitam, this truth is meditated upon in the heart of yogis, Karanaihi na vibhavitam, not through Indriyas. You need a totally different approach. So some expression someone like J. Krishnamurti used go so well with this. In fact, he talked about a wholly different way of living. A wholly different way of living. In fact, he perhaps used that expression somewhere in his dialogues with a certain professor called Anderson. Then they brought out a book with that title. The whole book was titled, that the editors have done. बड़ी अजीब बात है, J. Krishnamurti never announced a topic for his talks. Never said, I will speak on this book, on that topic. And he said, hard to believe, he said he never prepared for any talk. Some 11th hour persons like me also don't prepare. But when Sangam Gupta, let's say, brings me to the class as he did this morning, oh, आज क्या बोलूँ मैं, इस विषय तो दे दिया है, उस विषय पर क्या बोलूँ, a little bit preparation we do. But it said Krishnamurti never prepared, never planned his talk, never had an outline for his talk. This story, this illustration, this shloka, this example, and this joke. No, this is all not required for him. He just sat. Sometimes he would ask the audience, what shall we talk about? There was certain excellence in that kind. Therefore, in spite of certain strong criticism is made of all religions, mocked at gurus, made fun of scriptures, and even mocked at our cultural things. He, for example, said, to touch somebody's feet is, what did he say? Something like most uncivil or so. None of his business, he would say. But he did. We have to forgive him for that. He should not. Actually, a man of that stature should not come down at all to that level. And let me tell you, But sometimes he was also a human being after all. He would get annoyed about something. So he hit at Hindus to touch feet of parents or gurus, etc. to say about that is uncivil and so on, sorry, with all regard for his intellectual greatness, he was a great intellectual, or he was a great penetrating, insight he had into human life. But about saying, to touch somebody's feet is uncivil, sorry. What's your definition of civilization then? Next day, do you want to say to tie, is uncivil? Will you say using fork and spoon is uncivil? Leave it to them. People have their own way to express sentiments. Are you going to make new rules for a husband to hug his wife? That's not his domain. Like that, to say all gurus exploit. Sorry. Mathematically incorrect. Does he mean Ramana exploited people? Ramakrishna exploited people? They are our gurus. So, certain things were not all right with him. Let us be straightforward. But there was such great excellence, a wholly different way of living. And he would ask us, do you have the courage to live in a totally different way? Or you want to follow like blind, follow blindly like sheep? Take some example. See, that man burnt this man's house, and next day you know what he did? This fellow went and burnt his house and killed his family member's house. What kind of an eye for eye and so on. So, buddhya vedyam, it's not knowable. Vedya knowable, avedyam, unknowable through intellect. Anavadyam is extremely pure. Avadyam is something about which you can talk negatively. Anavadyam, dosha rahit. Bhranti kalpita jagat kala ashrayam. This is the basis for this entire universe, which is after all Bhranti kalpita, which is like the snake upon the rope. Right? Swa ashrayam, it is its own ashraya. If Brahma is the basis for everything, what is the basis for Brahma? Brahma अपने ही अधिष्ठान, खुद का अधिष्ठान है. It doesn't require another ashraya. And you can't categorize it in the usual way, sat and asat. Sadasad vilakshanam, nishkalam, partless, nirupamanavat. Upamanavat is where it has something resembling it. Nirupamana, there is nothing that resembles Brahman. Brahma tattvamasi. Janma vriddhi parinatya pakshaya.
Janma vritti parinatya pakshaya.
Vyadhinashana vihinam avyayam.
Vyadhinashana vihinam avyayam.
Vishvasrishtyavighata-karanam.
Vishvasrishtyavighata-karanam.
Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani.
Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani.
Astabhedamanapastalakshanam.
Astabhedamanapastalakshanam.
Nistaranga jalarashi nischalam.
Nistaranga jalarashi nischalam.
Nityamuktamavibhaktamurti yad.
Nityamuktamavibhaktamurti yad.
Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani.
Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani.
Simple. Janma, Vriddhi, Parinati, Apakshaya, Vyadi, Nashana. More or less like Shadurmi with some slight difference. The 6 waves that were talked about. Being born, growing and changing in some way. And Apakshaya, decaying. Vyadi, getting sick. And Nashana, finally dying. All these do not happen. This Brahma that you are is free from all this. Avyayam, it's changeless. And Srishti Ava Vighata. Srishti, Sthiti and Samhara. Ava means Rakshana. Ava. Ava Dhatu means protect. Vishwa Srishti, Vishwa Ava and Vishwa Vighata. In some sense, nothing of this has anything to do with Brahma. In another way, it's all thought development, Adhyaropa. This is, Brahma is the cause. It's the material cause, it is the efficient cause, it is the instrumental cause. Sometimes it is called the cause because there is no other cause. So called Brahma the cause. Then finally says there is what cause? What is the cause of the snake? You say rope. Did the snake actually really rise? Never. So karan kuch nahi hai. Asta bhedam, all dualities, all distinctions and differences, asta. खत्म हो जाते हैं इसमें. अनपास्त लक्षणम. Astabhedam anapasta lakshanam, whose essence is never non-existent. That is correct. Astalakshana is coming to an end, and apasta lakshanam. Let's say how to.
अपरिणामी स्वरूप हिंदी में.
अच्छा ऐसे लिखा है. An is negative, apasta lakshanam, whose essence is never non-existent. Yeah. Apasta means non-existent hona, anapasta means non-existent nahi hona. तो जिसका स्वरूप वो है, वो कभी भी अपास्त नहीं होता है. डबल नेगेटिव. अपास्त. Apa is just to add force. Asta itself is डूब जाना. सूरज डूब गया. So apa means sort of a force. Apasta. Anapasta lakshana. तो इसका
means it doesn't have any qualities, is it?
It boils down to that. It boils down to having no qualities. You said no qualities, right? No qualities. But more literally, literal translation is apasta lakshanam is non-existent and anapasta lakshanam is never non-existent. So you'll have to wonder why apasta lakshanam means non-existent. So anything else would lose its qualities, lose its attributes. Brahma का attributes are satyam, jnanam, anantam. वो कभी जाते
It
नहीं.
doesn't change because of coming in contact with
anything or for any other reason. अपने सत्स्वरूप को कभी भी एक नहीं खोता है. Not losing. Apasta lakshanam is losing one's attribute. Yeah. Let's say someone used to be so hospitable for years, but of late when you go to him, he doesn't offer even a cup of tea or water. Then that hospitable nature, that friendly nature, that nature of showing so much of good love, goodwill, चला गया. पहले ऐसे नहीं थे उसे, राइट? तो ब्रह्म के संदर्भ में you cannot say that Brahma, after so many centuries has changed. नहीं, change नहीं होती. अनपास्त लक्षण.
त्याग हुआ, छोड़ा हुआ.
हाँ, क्या लिखा है?
अपास्त मीन्स त्याग
किया हुआ,
छोड़ा हुआ.
हाँ, छोड़ा हुआ.
खारिज किया या अलग
is-
किया हुआ.
अनपास्त मीन नहीं छोड़ा
नहीं
हुआ.
छोड़ा.
ब्रह्म पहले भी सत्स्वरूप था, अभी भी 100% सत्स्वरूप ही.
So it's unchanged by
Yeah.
whatever it has.
Correct.
It
By contact or whatever, cause or no cause. The basic thing is it is unchanged. तो तुम वो हो, तुम्हारी क्षति होती ही नहीं. So it is that's why we say Vedanta is the ultimate form of reassurance. In finance, in health, we sometimes need to be reassured. Finance, let's say some new taxes have come, some new rules have come, banking has changed, and then you go to an expert. He examines your portfolios and reassures you. नहीं, कुछ नहीं होगा. You will not lose even one penny. All your investments, all your reassuring. Health-wise also, a doctor says to the patient. Sangamji was telling me some doctors had long back had advised some surgery for him. Even said cancer or something. And one particular doctor in Bombay only saw the X-ray or something, and one glimpse, this is not cancer. What a
Sultan
reaction.
Pradhan, Bapu Sultan Pradhan, I got the voice record को white patch आ गया. तो यहाँ पे इनकी वजह से था, मैं तो समझा थर्ड स्टेज कैंसर. बट अब सेकंड ओपिनियन सुल्तान प्रधान जी की. तो आधे घंटे के बाद वो घूम कर आए अपने कैबिन से. उसके उनके असिस्टेंट ने बोला कि मेरे को फर्स्ट स्टेज कैंसर हुई है. When he came to see the film, he told me this is not a cancer cell.
And that proved to be right. Because anyone can give a second opinion which is different from the first opinion. But such nikla. यदि वो सच नहीं था, after some days you would have had trouble. So it is cancer. In between, he made me feel good that it's not cancer. अभी तो मुझे करना ही पड़ेगा. But finally, years have passed. He never suffered.
2010.
So it's just an analogy that in finance or in health or in so many matters, Vedanta is the ultimate form of reassuring. आपको किसी प्रकार के फिक्र करने की जरूरत है ही नहीं. अनपास्त लक्षणम निस्तरंग जल राशिम निश्चलम. It is like the huge ocean with no waves. Nistaranga, so serene. Nitya Muktam Avibhakta Murtiyat. Lot of poetry here. Philosophy is wedded to poetry here. Nistaranga, then Nitya Muktam Avibhakta Murtiyat. Clarity. This set of verses can be very appropriate for staying in that vision. So, they are rightly called meditation verses. But it's also true, as we said in the beginning, there is really no distinction between meditation and knowing and then meditation. Some of these are finer aspects of the philosophy, of the darshana, and that's how I must have quoted J. Krishnamurti used to make a very, very disturbing statement, disturbing to common spiritual people. Conscious meditation is no meditation, he would angrily say almost. Because he was a great Vedanti really, without his knowing. Conscious meditation means हम सोचते हैं कि ठीक है, अब मैं समझ लिया, मैंने समझ लिया, अब मुझे ध्यान करना है. यदि आपने सच ही समझ लिया, ध्यान करने की जरूरत नहीं है. वो समझना ही, दिस इज ए फाइन ट्यूनिंग ऑफ द फिलॉसफी. वो सही समझ जो है ना, वो अपने में पर्याप्त है, पूर्ण है, और कुछ करने की. If you talk about, in fact, about finest things in life, it is so. If you have love in your heart, then the so-called expressing is not necessary. Love is complete in itself. You will of course express. मौका मिले तो you will express.
There is one sentence by Shankaracharya, Kartavya and Gnatavya. What is that pair of sentence?
कर्तव्य ज्ञातव्य.
Yeah, means for this you have to do Kartavya, you have to do it, and for this
अब वही बात है. The words, which words
that
are there?
word, one phrase is there.
अनुष्ठातव्यम.
No,
Nahi,
that
nahi.
phrase is there in the Bhashya.
Yes.
For karma, Kartavya, and for
Yes, yes.
ज्ञान नो कर्तव्य.
Gnatavya.
हाँ, that is कठोपनिषद भाष्य, right? अपरम चेत प्राप्तव्यम, परम चेत ज्ञातव्यम. The supreme is where you just need to know, and then it is complete. Rest of it is optional. ये जरूरत नहीं. आपको ब्रह्म ज्ञान हो गया तो आप यदि सवाल पूछते हैं, ब्रह्म ज्ञान होने के बाद जाके दूसरों को उपदेश करना जरूरी है क्या? वहाँ भी बाजारी बुद्धि. मेरे ज्ञान होने पर जाके दूसरों को देना जरूरी है क्या? उसमें मुझे डिस्काउंट या क्या बोलते, रियायती बोलते हैं, कंसेशन. That asking that question itself is immaturity. वो होना है तो होगा, नहीं होना है तो नहीं होगा, उसमें कोई फर्क नहीं है. So beauty, love, and so many good things, forgiveness, all beautiful human values in their purest form are complete in themselves. That means then giving some expression to it is not really necessary, but हो जाता है normally. You don't say that of what use is your love if you did not express it. कम से कम एक छोटा सा फूल देना चाहिए था उस दूसरे को जिसको प्यार करते हो. नहीं वो you cannot insist on those sides. Because imagine somebody doesn't have true love, हल्का सा some confused form of love is there, and बहुत सुंदर एक फूल दिया. Of what use is it? Main thing is love, your friendship, your goodwill, your forgiveness should be complete. So in higher philosophy, the insistence is on the total purity of that noble value and not the expression of it. But the mad popular world, especially the world of advertising, world of glamour, next birthday of your wife, this is the diamond you have to give her. Advertisement, diamond advertisers, let us say.
Original diamond.
Huh?
Original diamond.
Original diamond.
Not left
Yeah,
diamond.
yeah. Win her heart by giving this. No gender bias. There will be another advertisement. Win him back by giving him this gift. Wives are told. So the mad world is so much hijacked by expression. They say, you attend let me say this and conclude. I have gone through all that, to become a sort of a speaker that I am today. I also was fed with that. This thing, communicate, express well, etc. And we practiced and we started expressing better. But now in philosophical maturity, I know that in this world of earning and becoming popular, etc., communication is very important. But in spirituality, to have the clarity is more important. Somebody has clarity about whatever subject, but is not able to express well. One A. Another has no clarity, but बहुत अच्छा बोलता है. लोगों को लगता है कि ये बहुत अच्छा जानते हो, सच में जानता नहीं है. But cleverly he speaks. So then you go with him. Those who know that this person actually knew, Bechara, he could not express. Singapore president, what a Lee Kuan Yew, somebody, he turned around Singapore, made it a very powerful. He once plays, there's a short video clip. He looks back and says, when we decided to take Singapore, our country, to heights, we made a team. And he says, these are my words, but he said something like that, very powerful short. That time we made a team and we chose some people, or we chose such people who were practical, who knew what would make a country strong. We did not take people who had gift of the gab. That was like, it was like a hit on speakers like us. Gift of the gab, that is speaking skills. Politicians who speak well will go on speaking. They don't do anything for the country, he said. Very well hitting. It's so true. Around the world, Dikhawa wins. How long but? After some distance, they also fall. Those who followed them also fall.
Swamiji, the world is actually turning lots like that. Like with so much of social media exposure and everything. Like if you look at the younger generation,
More and more they are going for the cow.
It's only
That's
that.
what you are saying, right?
Yes.
Only that.
So to divert them out of that, if I look at it as a parent,
Yeah.
so you have for the younger generation, it is like what you show is what you are,
Correct.
and that
Exactly.
includes
That's what I was trying to
So
say.
even in
What you show
professions-
becomes what you are, which it is not. What you show is not what you are. But younger generation को ये मैसेज मिलता रहता है इस आज की दुनिया में.
It percolates everywhere. Like if you look at professions also,
Correct.
If you are able to project yourself well in the social media, then you have a better
Have more fans, more what do you call
work
friends?
also, sir.
More
Work also.
work also. Correct.
Like if people are able to put themselves up there in the social, that is why there is so much of content creators and who are actually kind of making a lot of money there, because they are able to project what otherwise you can't.
You're
It's
right.
like I am a pediatrician. I might be a good pediatrician, but unless I put myself up there, people will not know.
True.
So they will always, like the younger generation, always looking for
Yeah.
who is on Insta or who is on,
Absolutely. It's a widespread disease,
Yes, it is.
and it doesn't really take you to what you want in your heart of hearts. Neither those who sell like that nor those who buy like that will really find in the long run, But nobody cares for the long run.
It's a plague right now.
It's a plague. It's a plague. And it has not spared spirituality. It has not spared religion. Everyone is caught in the net. Yeah, very sad. Therefore, like these verses and these teachings say, one has to introspect. One has to do some publicity. ऐसा नहीं कि publicity मत करो, but that should not be on top. One must work 10 times more on making oneself truly worthy. 10 times energy should be to make our services better, and 1/10 of it only for publicity. But it's the other way around. Itna worthiness, lekin itna publicity. I have heard from childhood onwards apparently wise statement, apparently wise advice. In this world it's not enough if you are good. People should see you as good. Something like that, लोग आपको अच्छे आदमी करके देखे, समझे, ये ज़्यादा important है. That's what it boils down to. Though it is expressed as it's not enough if you are good, but people should know you to be good. In finally boils, it's not necessary to be good, people should know you. अन्यथा it's well worded. आप अच्छे रहे और लोग भी आपको अच्छे समझे. धीरे धीरे से और करप्शन, वन मोर लेवल ऑफ करप्शन. आप अच्छे रहे या न रहे, लोगों के नजर से आप अच्छे होना पर्याप्त है. That itself is enough. It's such a lie. Not for the other's sake. You yourself will not be happy. That way our Gandhiji also, his teachings were powerful. He said means itself is the end and means is more important. He made such wonderful statements. That's why in my college days I was a Maha Gandhi Bhakta, though I didn't live Gandhian life, दूसरी बात है. But बहुत अच्छा पसंद किया था. But now recent findings are, I don't know, some worm of partiality entered him. He became almost blind to what happened to Hindus. It's becoming more and more clear. Not that he wanted Hindus to suffer, but when Hindus suffered, he sort of said, please bear with it, please bear with it. In fact, I have many times said, have you seen the movie Gandhi, My Father? Please see if you get some time, family ke saath, doston ke saath. I cried 2-3 places there. It is the story of Haridas. M.K. Gandhi never wanted Haridas to suffer. ऐसी बात नहीं. अच्छे बाप थे. और उसी प्रकार दिखाए. That movie is a very good movie. They never made M.K. Gandhi a bad man there. So unintentionally, because of some peculiar, it's like, what you call eye defect some of us have, no? Some people have squint or some people have color blindness. इनको कुछ प्रॉब्लम था शायद. तो उसमें काफ़ी एग्जाम्पल्स दिखाते हैं. जानबूझ के नहीं, लेकिन he had a propensity, he had a tendency to give more importance to others than to his own son. तो एक प्राणजी भाई in Durban gave a donation for Haridas to go to England. स्पष्ट रूप से, it's like earmarked donation in our trust. उसमें दिखाते हैं. And हरिदास को पता चला, प्राणजी अंकल ने मेरे लिए डोनेशन दिया है, आर्थिक सहायता दी है, मैं इंग्लैंड जाऊंगा. बिकॉज मेनी बॉयज यूज्ड टू गो टू इंग्लैंड, डरबन, साउथ अफ्रीका. बट 2-3 दिन के बाद बापू डिड नॉट कॉल हिम एट ऑल, सेइंग देखो तुम्हें अब तैयारी करना होगा, इंग्लैंड जाओगे तुम. देन हरिदास वाज वेरी वेरी नाइसली शोन. हरिदास इज प्लेड बाय विनोद खन्ना का बेटा अक्षय खन्ना. इट्स वर्थ सीइंग, So then he goes and says, Bapu, क्या हुआ? Then Bapu says, देखो प्राणजी ने दिया that for my but for me all these boys are my sons. And he gave that money to another boy who booked his ticket on the ship and who went to England. Haridas is so shattered. Then he says, then what am I? तुम मेरे साथ रहो बेटे. वेरी बड़े प्यार से, वेल एक्टेड बाय सम लेस नोन एक्टर. यू बी विद मी एंड जॉइन मी इन सत्याग्रह. एंड देन ही सेज वेरी लविंगली टू हरिदास. सो इट्स नॉट जस्ट सम काइंड ऑफ ब्लाइंडनेस टुवर्ड्स हिंदू इंटरेस्ट. he was blind to his son's interests. His own son Haridas went astray finally. All kind of bad habits, all kind of demoralization, losing confidence in life, and finally he embraces Islam. Then Kasturba, afraid of her husband's anger, she had kept away from this मामला, उनके बीच है. But when she came to know Hari, मेरे प्यारा Hari, Muhammadan बन गया, she runs. That is also shown. She runs to him, Hari, मेरे बेटे. हिंदी में हमने देखा. She cries, ये मत करो. Then seeing tears of his mother's eyes, he comes back. He reconverts to Hinduism. He became briefly, I don't know, for some days or weeks or months, Harun. Hari becomes Harun. Harun Muslim naam. So they have shown all this. But otherwise, I sometimes wonder why I was so above ground when I read Gandhian literature in high school, college days. Because there is plenty of truth in what he said. Means is the end. So coming back to what we are discussing, The modern world gives importance to the end. Means कुछ भी हो, तुम असल में कुछ भी हो, लेकिन तुम इस प्रकार अपने को दिखाओ, प्रेजेंट करो, गलत है.
Your presentation is more important than what you are.
That's what modern world says, or that has been like that, दुनिया में. Gandhi ji very strongly writes in a lot of his writings that means are as important, if not more important, than the end. All that was wonderful. And his love for Muslims, compassion for, that's also why not. Compassion shown to anybody is worth it. But why not the same compassion to Hindus? Well, there's something, I think, some ideological slight confusion.
Sometimes some people in trying to be too fair to
Too
everybody
fair, correct.
is unfair to their own people.
Correct. Exactly.
Idealistic.
In our town there was a man who was too kind to the neighbors. And when his wife asked for something, बाद में देखेंगे. He was so short-tempered towards his wife. My one uncle actually. His wife.
Because that's the part they take for granted.
They take for granted. So
And-
that is
and
an
the family
ideological hijack it is.
Yeah.
Some ideology that I am so good to people in the... What about your wife and children? See, don't, you don't talk about my wife and children. They get angry.
Right.
कुछ उनको मिला, उस मेरे अंकल का कुछ दुकान था, वहाँ कुछ गिफ्ट्स आते थे और कोई कस्टमर आते और इनको कुछ तारीफ करते, उनको दे दिया. एंड व्हेन हिज माय आंटी यूज्ड टू से, हमने सुना आपको एक गिफ्ट आया था, वो उसको दे दिया, इसको दे दिया. एग्जैक्टली एम.के. गांधी's प्रॉब्लम वाज दैट. रामजी भाई ने दिया एंड ही गेव इट टू अनदर बॉय. उनको खुशी हुई होगी, मैं कितना विशाल दृष्टि की हूँ. तुम्हारे विशाल बुद्धि को आग में डालो, अपने बेटे का ख्याल करो, है ना. वो नहीं किया उन्होंने. It brings tears to your eyes. Gandhi, my father, produced by some K. Abbas or somebody, some Muslim director. It's a very good movie. Gandhi, my father. Not the other one. There's another called Maine Gandhi Ko Kyun Mara. That's fictional. This is rooted in facts. And Sachi, the critics said, they have not shown Gandhi to be a bad man. Because जानबूझकर उन्होंने नहीं किया. But उनके अंदर एक थोड़ा सा हल्का सा vision problem, taking his own family for granted. Yeah, we all leave aside Gandhi or somebody. We have to be very careful about this. दिखावे में हम खो न जाए, दिखावे में बह न जाए. दिखावे का असर, दिखावे का दबाव में आता है हमारे ऊपर.
There's a lot of stress involved in showing what you are not, right?
Yes.
So the whole
Right
generation
away it
who's
causes
into
stress.
social media is so much stressed by the fact that whether what they are showing is something that people will like. So there's a lot of validation that they need and all.
Exactly. I have been a good communicator, but nowadays extremely clear I am that communication is not everything at all. Olden days I used to get very irritated if somebody doesn't communicate properly. भाषा के ऊपर इतना हम जोर देते, आजकल I have become a little more, I understood because like that light, press the switch के जगह press that light. Thank God he did not say press the bulb. Press that tube light. भैया वो ट्यूब लाइट नहीं है, ट्यूब लाइट का स्विच है वो. उतना दूर नहीं गए वो, but he said in Bangalore, press that light. So उस पर इतना जोर देने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, वो भी दिखावा के अंदर आ गया. But then there are benefits, right? Immediate benefits. When you show, when you speak well, when you sing well, when you dress well, when you go for some plastic surgery, and you get benefits. There are so many benefits. Fake degree 6 certificate ले लो, जॉब मिलेगा, 5 साल तनख्वाह भी मिलेगा. 5 साल के बाद किसी ने कोई दिक्कत है. इनका जो बी है ना, वो he never went to engineering college, he bought it somewhere. Then he may even go to jail. But 5 saal, he got a job, and I have a suspicion in Varanasi there was one guy from Bihar. We appointed him as campus engineer. हमारा ज़्यादा इंजीनियरिंग नहीं था, थोड़ा इधर रिपेयर करना उधर रिपेयर करना, सिविल इलेक्ट्रिकल. वो मोटर बाइक रखा था और दिखावा कर रहा था. Once one Kamal Thakkar, I think, one very good administrator said that campus engineer get a drawing for one security rooms to be built. He said yes sir. And then this Kamal Thakkar found out that he did not make the drawing at all. He went on his motorbike to cantonment of area of Varanasi. दोपहर को ले आया और next day he brought. Our Kamal ji asked him, ये आपने बनाए? He first did not reply. Then he said, नहीं सर हम थोड़ा इतने दूसरी चीज़ों में busy हैं, तो मेरा एक मित्र है उससे बनवाए. Another time also some simple engineering drawing, some simple, very simple thing. He got it done outside. Then the doubt arose whether he is really a B at all. Because if somebody is B, basic, drawing खुद करता है, pencil लेके draw. Then I came to know that his degree, he said, he is from Bihar, but his B is from some Siddharth Institute of Technology of Tumkur near Bangalore and from Karnataka. And I have heard that some North Indians, they do come to Bangalore, they take a room, they masti karenge thoda. But they don't, either they don't join at all or they join a college and 1-2 saal mein chhod dete hain. But then there are some agents around who give you a degree from Bangalore University, Undino mein, Siddharth Institute of Technology, B in such and such year. So this fellow, I never went, I also left the place. I think he had a fake certificate. But he was campus engineer of Krishnamurti Foundation, Varanasi chapter. As you said, it causes stress, dar, I may be caught, and it's not worth it. Because like I said, that Tavaria's statement, when the brain is filled with deceit, the heart suffers, some beats go missing. Finally you pay